people because we ain't got no work for them to do. We got to re-educate them, retrain them, and you the only one to have money. We're going to have to do like Saudi Arabia did, put everybody that got money in jail. See, that's the future of the world, right? Okay. I'm your cousin, man, your mama, my brother, they was friends, they were married to the other girl and all of that. Why you got me here? Because I need some money. We want $6 billion. One of them, the richest one, he said, we want $6 billion out of you. He must have gave it up because he finally got out. They collected $100 billion. That's what the white folks said, I don't know. Right? From relatives.
Gangsters.
It's criminal. But if you want to stop production of coal, which is good for the earth, okay, the people in the coal-mining country ain't going to have no work to do. Well, what you going to do? Well, we got to feed them, retrain them, maybe for years. So who has that money? Well, the billionaires, the trillionaires. So anyway, yes.
Donald Trump is submitting to Congress a budget, $716 billion for the military. Way more than what they even asked for. You got money for that dumb stuff, but you ain't got no money for the people.
Well, that's remember, Don is there to help break, whoever got him in there, it's fine. I mean, and it may be the big white folks got him in there. Because you got to look who gains. If you run America in the hole, okay, they got their production now set for certain things overseas. But in 20 years, if they can destroy America and make it poor, 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 but spend money on the infrastructure, highways, byways, electric grids and all that, by the time the Chinamans get rich and all the other people get rich over there, the people that put their money over there to build them up, right, can take all their money and bring it back here. Why? Because we'll work for $6 or $7 an hour by then, right? Remember, capital has no national, capital don't have no, this is German money, they put capital goes where it can devour others and accumulate. That's what capital is.
That's what Donald Trump's son said about him. He said he's not really racist. He said the only color he cares about is green.
That's right. All of them are like that. Everybody I knew that's having money, we could click the heat on just a little bit of heat. Yeah, but I don't know it, but maybe I'm sitting there to think. Anyway, let's speed up a little bit. No natural killer instinct. Not a weakness, but a strength. People more valuable. Here we are. We're in the process of making a new world right now. That's actually what we're working on. We talked the other day about not being a historical bystander. We want to choose our destiny, just like it says here. We want to have a policy of kindness, compassion, and help them move from informers, saboteurs, to liberators. Okay, at this community, we know where we are and where we've been and what's been happening all along. So we actually, the contact that we have, the human contact, is mostly with saboteurs and people undermining the thing. If you have so much contact, pretty soon you begin to consider your saboteurs as friends. I mean, you hope the best for their kids, and you know, the saboteurs become almost like they're part of the family. They be around so long that they're part of the family. So you wish for them the best, that you can help them move. Now this is the time of abdul-Malik, and we're speaking specifically about them at that time. To help them move from informers to saboteurs to liberators. That's why we always was trying to call them on the phone, hey, see if you can find so-and-so. Because they came out of an environment. They made an analysis. Well, ain't no revolution going on. What is going on? Okay, most African Americans go to school. When they come out, they don't go to private industry, they go where? Government. They don't make as much money as the people who go in private industry, but they have stability. And your wife and family will tell you more about stability. You're talking about, we want some adventure. Your wife don't want no adventure. When I asked my family, when I was getting ready to leave the country, it was a long time ago, I went to the library and I brought back Encyclopedia Britannicas, and I was showing, and I brought back French tapes, Comment allez-vous, vous parlez français, and all that stuff. Because it was going to Algeria, so it happens if that was in 1970 and 71, the things was about 10 years old in those days. So when they showed Algeria, they showed camels, stuff like that. So if you used to ride in Cadillacs, pushing buttons, and in those days, a house was like, I think it still is, because they have a saying and the jokes about what's the similarity between a woman and a hurricane, something like that. They said, well, when it's all over, one of them gonna get the house. Because the house, that's what they, tell the truth. They have sisters, I like them, but they have some real thing about houses. In the old days, it was picket fences. Now it's just any house. And long-range stability, that's heaven. Forget about everything else. So here I am talking about running off from the white man. Everybody see what's going on. And I'm not going to put up with it much longer. So let's leave. What about the house? I said, the house will be here. Just pay the damn thing off and leave. Have some adventure. They look at you like, I don't want no adventure. They don't want no adventure. For that, they have the house, but they ain't never been nowhere. They go on a tour somewhere, and that's it, to Hawaii. Finished. No adventure, no excitement. The only thing when they think about memories is a song. You know what I mean? A song, music. But when you think about history, you think about the song too, but what was going on at that time? What was we doing? Right? Adventure. People don't want, most people don't care nothing about no adventure. And anything that may destabilize, I want to count on the next paycheck. Most people that own their own business, they don't make independent decisions. The only people that make any independent decisions, hardly at all, is people that own their business. But people that work downtown here and there, if you work in a system, it's by rote. You learn the procedure. You join the police department, we have a police handbook. That's a procedure. You follow all of these, No. Don't worry about right and wrong. Don't got good and bad. The book takes care of all that. You just follow the book. If you go in the army, well, what do I get? You take the last order first. If General so-and-so told you to go over there and do this here and take that area, and then the colonel come and tell you to go to France, you go to France. That's the last order first. That's the military. You don't ask, wait a minute, man. And then they why so many people going crazy, they send them over there, kill all these people, blow up all those people. They get over there and they see all that blood and all that. They went crazy. Now they come back here, you think they want to help them? We know we run you crazy. We don't have nothing to do with that. Why you're not American going over there and worried about that's the military you gotta think about. And you whining, weeping crybabies. Right? What they tell them? They don't run them crazy. And will throw your family outside somewhere if things don't go. If you didn't cross all them T's and you go down there with your head blew off and your leg blew off and say, I need 100% disability. What do you mean? I don't see no letter. You got a letter here to say you disabled? See, there's only half of it here. See the stake? It's none there. It's not a leg. It's disabled. You gotta get a signed statement, right? This is how they do. This people is insane. The system is insane. Now here you and I want to make a good system. We want to make a good system, we have to have a good process. That includes love, kindness, friendship, all that stuff. We're not communists. As long as you follow the rule and you will kill all of our friends, Chairman Mao and them, shoot. Hey man, when it gets a little sticky, all their homeboys that come along with them doing a long march, 20 years, 30 years, all of that. After a while, hey man, they set each other up and little stuff like that, you know. And pretty soon, people be getting killed and, you know, and don't talk about Stalin. Fidel, Hugo Matos, and all the Hugo Matos is the one that brought them the boat and all this stuff. And next thing you know, Hugo Matos is in Miami. Not that he's a good guy, but the people was committing suicide because now I like Fidel, but sometimes that stuff can make you fat-headed. It can make you fat-headed. That's why we go over this stuff all the time. We expect a rebellion. We expect the transition. But we want to have sense when we get there. And we want to remind ourselves that the enemy is the shaitan. And you have to be trained for that before you get there. That's why we have to be trained now, because the white folks not gonna, they don't have nothing like Tuskegee of the Nafs. But we have to have a lot of power too. We're going after some power, the ability to affect things. Because there's gonna have to be, we're not gonna make the transition, they're not gonna make it. All of us gonna be involved. When the big system begins to crack, then at that point, everybody start going for power. So the white folks, Jeffersonian, they're gonna make a move for power. The Negro that's been laying dormant, whatever, he gonna jump over, we deserve some power. And the police and already got them set up, standing at the door, the liberation door. They got their crew already standing at the door, just in case. When the rebellion is over, you do this, you do that, chaos, confusion. So either we'll retake power, or it'll be so much chaos that people will want us back. Of course. You see, they got a plan for everything. So we have to plan for the success. Now, personally, that's why all these are notes to myself. This no-killer instinct is not a weakness, but people believe kindness is weakness. I even have somewhere, yeah, if you look up here, it says something like algae bathtub. Now, algae is not algae like green algae. Algae is the name of a guy. He was about number 5 in our organization. He was doing a little something. This is the top of our game. No, we're ascending to the top. Another few months, no, we're already at the top, but we're still climbing. So algae did something stupid, and so we had a house in English Village. I said, put it in a bathtub, get me a battery, fill it up, fill a bathtub up with water. You're just gonna shock him a little bit, you know. A little battery, a car battery, it ain't gonna kill him, but it's gonna boop, boop. So I had number 1 and number 2 next to me, and I'm in the middle. He's not looking at me. He's looking at them. I said, all right, take him over so-and-so somewhere, and we'll take care of this tomorrow. And they called me the next day, and they said he got away. He went to New Orleans. Why did I let him go? Because he was looking at them. That means everybody's in on him. He's looking at them. You know, the way he was looking at them, they was in on it too. So if the whole crew was in on it, I'm the only one not in on it because I'm the chief. Right? So, well, I take care of this tomorrow. And they take him over there, let him go, give him a package of money, and he go back down south for a while, 10, 15, 20 years. Just that reminds me that at the top of the game, where I could have did something physically, I just never had the feeling. You know what I mean? That's not the way I am. I mean, if somebody trying to hurt you or your family, you're going to take care of them. But if you got time to think about it, it's not you're going to take kindness. That's good. Now, all people got characteristics. But what happened in the game is people let the game determine their behavior, not their personal good or bad characteristics. They follow the rules of the game. In other words, the environment make them. They don't make the environment. We're not doing that. We making the environment that we're creating the environment that we're working in. And we're doing it during a hard time. So when this thing jumps off big, we're going to be working with authority, because I believe, and I have believed for a decade or two, that someone has to have power and authority that has everybody's interests at heart. And everybody's going to have to know that. So people think, oh, Oakland is bad, this is bad. It's not bad. It's perfect. It's building up the history of all of that. You have to have a history. It works 2 or 3 ways. Number 1, it works to show what we're doing clearly, is that you can challenge the system, whether they like it or not, in front of their face, and you can not only survive, but you can thrive. That's what we're outwardly doing. We're saying that's what we're doing. We against, like they say in the party, we have to struggle against the contradictions between the people, the contradictions between the landlords, right, and the proletariat as a contradiction. Well, there's a contradiction between good and evil. And you have to overcome the contradiction of evil with good. That's our policy. And in Oakland, with the police coming in with rifles and everything and doing that, what that shows people is, number one, whoever it is, they're not afraid of the system. And number two, they have a lot of patience. Why? And real love. Why? Because everybody knows who's doing everything, and the public knows, the private society knows, right? So everybody knows it has to be another element. We are telling the people what the element is. It's just what we say it is. It's love for the people, love for Islam. The people come before goals. Nobody says that. They say, oh no, excuse me. Everybody say it, don't nobody mean it hardly. When we was in South Africa and years ago, same time we was giving the speech in '96. This was just after the election. Boy, Mandela's in there, and they say we're gonna build 5 million homes for the people. I say, y'all ain't gonna build nothing. You may build 500,000 or so. Maybe. But we're the ANC, and all of my rich friends, they was in with the ANC. And they was burning up and mad at me, and every time they did something, they tried to do it to show it's South Africa. Our big rich friends, and if any of y'all from South Africa watching, you know who we talking about. The richest engines over there, that's who we talking about. And they always in on everything Islamic, but are they in there to help it, which they do, or to control it? Suppose they run across some nigga that they can't control. All of a sudden, he's persona non grata, not welcome. Forget about the truth. The truth. Hey man, ain't nobody worried about the truth, right or wrong. So we have to show, we are showing people already, you can do it.